Happy Tuesday, everybody. I just wanted to get on here live real quickly to talk about when it is time to spend money, when you know it's time to spend some money. So I have to go out of town this weekend, and where I have to go is in the Midwest. So a little bit of background. I worked in the Midwest for an internship, and then after college I worked in Indiana for 3 years. I am from the Southeast, so I worked in Indiana for 3 years in the first 3 years of my corporate job. And from time to time I would drive home to the Southeast in between, like in a weekend. All right, it was an 8-hour drive to drive from Indiana down south. Okay, so just give you a little bit of background. I have driven that road, these mountains, a lot, right? And so I have gone not only there because I lived in Indiana, but when I started becoming a speaker, I went to conferences in Kentucky. I went to have speaking engagements in Ohio, and just speaking engagements in Indiana, in Illinois. Like, I have driven a lot from the Southeast to the Midwest. And so I needed to go to Ohio this weekend for a basketball tournament, and didn't really find out about it until, that it was a definite to like yesterday. And I had already looked at flights and last week, and I looked at the price of the flights, and I was just like, nah, especially when at first it's supposed to be 3 of us going. So I was going to have to buy 3 flights and then get there, had a hotel, had a rental car. So I kind of passed on. I was like, forget it. You know what I'll do? I'll just rent a car and drive the 7 hours, right? Drive the 7 hours there on Friday, drive the 7 hours back on Monday. This was last week. I rented the car and everything. Rented the car last night, Wednesday or Thursday. It's ready for me to pick up and drive on Friday. So yesterday and today, I started thinking to myself, you know what? I don't want to do that. I don't want to drive that 7-hour drive up the mountains. And when I mean up the mountains, I mean up the West Virginia mountains. And the West Virginia mountains are no joke for people who have never done it. I've done it numerous times, like probably in my lifetime at least 100. Okay, I've driven that 7-8 hour drive a lot, right? And so I know when I don't want to do it. Okay, because it would have been fine, when I went there on Friday, up the mountain on Friday, down the mountain on Monday, it would have been fine, right? Because I was going to do it in the daytime. But I have even done that drive at night, where you come down the West Virginia mountains at night driving, and on the other side of the mountain is just a straight drop. Like, you never want to ever get off of that cliff because you're dead, period. But at night, coming down those mountains, only thing you can see at night is all the West Virginia mines lights, just the lights everywhere, and smoke coming up. Okay, and so someone asked me, said, well, why don't you let him get on the van with the team and go? I was like, absolutely not, because anybody who has not driven those mountains, guess what? It's going to be a problem. It might not be a problem going up, but coming back down that mountain is a beast, because everybody is flying down that mountain, and including 18-wheelers who have no problem putting your car or your van in the middle of them while they fly down the mountain. And when I tell you that mountain is steep, all the way down, once you get in West Virginia, all the way down, you're going to have those truck stop things that if the truck brakes mess up or they lose control, they can go up to a mountain and all those hill things will stop them, and if they come back down, it'll stop the truck, and it saves the trucker's life and everybody else around them. This is what I mean about this drive up and down the mountain. So it's 7 hours, and I said to myself, you know what, forget it, Janae. You just pay the money, spend the money. Right? So that's why I wanted to do this live. Like 5 years ago, it would have been no question. I'm driving. Okay, I'm driving. There's no question I'm not buying 2 flights, because it's 2 flights. I'm not buying 2 flights, then renting a car when I get there. No, I'm going to rent the car for $260 and do that. But now business is good, life is good. And I thought to myself, Janae, you got more than enough. Just buy the doggone plane tickets. Buy the plane tickets, get your rental car when you get up there, and stop like agonizing over you driving 7 hours there and 7 hours back and taking 14 hours out of your life. Now, if you're watching this live or you're watching this on a replay and you are in a position that you're paying off debt or you're trying to increase your emergency fund, that was me, you know, when I was paying off the debt. I wouldn't even had this conversation about getting on no flight. It'd have been on a rental car to get him there. In fact, it might have been that he ain't even going, right? He missing this, because why y'all going to Ohio anyway? Like, we live in the Southeast, 7 hours away from Ohio. Why y'all doing this? That's what it would have been then. He wouldn't have went. But even like 5 or 6 years ago, I would have still been renting a car and just doing what I need to do. Like, it was still grind mode then, like serious grind mode, like getting my money up. Now it's still grind mode, but I can let loose a little bit in an instance like this. And that's what I had to tell myself, like, Janae, it makes absolutely no sense for you to take 14 hours of your life out on Friday for 7 hours and Monday 7 hours when you can just get you a flight and just be relaxed and go to Ohio for this basketball tournament. And that's what I did. And so for those of you who are, you know, out of debt or pretty much financially stable, that's the kind of mindset I want you to have. But also, if you're on your way to that, like you're paying off debt and you know that you're striving to be debt free, that's the kind of mindset to have once everything is done. Okay, because people always ask me, Janae, like, when can you let loose? When can you let go? And it's not really letting loose or letting go where you just spending money frivolously and everything like that. It's about, okay, I can loosen it up just a little bit. Because when you're paying off debt, when you're trying to save money, starting to invest, like get yourself financially stable and get a good foundation under you, you have to keep the reins tight. Okay, you have to get the reins tight to meet all those financial goals. But when the financial goals have been met and you're starting to accelerate into a growth mode with your money, so investing and those kind of things, paying off your house quickly, those kind of things, then it's time to let loose a little bit, right? And it's about more of a quality of life. Me making this decision today was about quality of life. That was it. It was about quality of life. I do not right now feel like driving up those mountains, and I don't feel like driving back down those mountains, not at all. And so it was about quality of life, and so that's why I bought the plane tickets. And I'm also coming back on Monday, so this trip just kind of got pushed into another trip that I already had planned. I'm coming back on Monday, and in 2 days I'm flying out for vacation. So like, it just was going to be too much. I don't want to be tired on my vacation. That's nuts, right? That's nuts. So because I'm the only one that could take him to Ohio for this basketball tournament, he needed to go to the basketball tournament, then I am. And I just said to myself today, this morning I said, you know what, Janae, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. Buy the flights. I had bought 3 this morning. Then my daughter, I'm not gonna take her, so she's gonna stay here. I canceled those 3 flights. Found some cheaper flights from another airport, because I have 3 around me. Another airport, and now we're gonna go on Friday, and this is gonna be a mother-son trip. This time it's not gonna be 3 of us going. So that's what we're gonna do. And I am happy. Like, I don't feel bad about spending the money, because I know it's about a peace of mind for me. And when I get to Ohio, I'm not going to be angry. I'm not going to be tired. We're going to get there in good time and be able to, he can get up for his basketball game the next day rested. He won't be ridden in a car for 7 straight hours and wake up the next morning to play basketball. Like, he's going to fly there and, you know, be good. And I thought to myself today, you know, Janae, that's what you have been working hard for. Like, of course, since I started my business, but definitely like all last year, like I did so much, like speaking and everything, that I almost burnt myself out last year. And now I'm seeing the rewards of that this year. And I know when I come back the second week in June, I think I have seriously, easily 10 speaking engagements, maybe. But something crazy. But it's up there. It's up there. It's like 7 to 10 speaking engagements in June. So I'm working this hard to be able to say to myself, Janae, it is okay for you to buy a flight for you both and not drive a total of 14 hours in 3 days. It's okay. Let loose for this time. That's what you worked hard for. It's for when times are like this, you can go ahead and spend the money and keep your sanity intact. And that's exactly what I did today. And so as of right now, we are flying to Ohio. I have a rental car that's already paid for to get. Once we get to the airport, it's going to keep us all weekend. And then after that, return it and fly back home, and then drive myself back home. So a total of travel time, like 2.5 hours instead of 14. So that's why I titled this, When Is It Time to Spend Money? Today, this situation, it was a time for me to spend some money and to be okay with it. Okay? And I am okay with it. I am actually excited about it. I bought the flights about 3 hours ago and got my car about an hour ago. So we are set. But just have that mentality going forward. All of you who have asked me in the past, you know, Janae, when is it time to let loose? Like, that's when it is. When you paid off the debt, you know, you've gotten your savings where you want it to go, you're in kind of a growth stage with your wealth, you are going to get to the point that you're going to be able to let loose and loosen the, loosen the reins. You're going to be able to loosen the reins, and you're going to be able to live life the way you want to live it and not feel guilty about spending money. Like, I didn't feel guilty about spending any of that money today at all, because I know what's the result of it feeling wise. I'm not going to be stressed. I'm not going to be worried about being in nobody's traffic. I just thought about that. There have been times I have driven to the Midwest, to Indiana or Ohio or Kentucky, where I have gotten in, like, I'm supposed to be there in 7 hours or 6.5 hours or 6 hours or 8 hours, and it ends up being like 10 hours because I get into traffic with an accident. I just thought about that. I'm even more happy now that I bought the flight, because if that would have happened on my way up there or on my way back, I would have lost it. Because in my mind for this trip, it was 7 hours and 7 hours only. I'm not even thinking about the traffic that could have happened, especially on a Friday, because that's just when traffic happens. And in addition to that, they have toll roads. It costs $12 to get up there and $12 back. I know that as well, and I hate them toll roads. I think it's such a ripoff. But yeah, and they're only cash. Yeah. So that's what I want to share with y'all today. Just knowing when it's time to spend money. All right. So I hope everybody's had a great Tuesday. And I hope you have a great rest of the week. I may come back on here sometime this week, but I did want to share this with you all. So I hope you have a great rest of this evening, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.